Hey guys, this is Matt with M&H Plus Daughters Apiary. In this video I'm going to talk a little bit about bees. So those of you that have asked about buying nukes from me, I wanted to make this video for you. So this spring in 2022 I will start selling some nukes. I'm not going to require a deposit. I just wanted to give you a little video of what to expect and what you do need to do in preparation before you get your beehives. And if you do want one of my nukes, I'd appreciate it if you would just send me a message or post on my Facebook group somehow. Just let me know. But if you don't, I'll still have some available. So this is what you're going to receive. So I'll sell my nukes in these Pro Nuke boxes. The box is yours to keep. You don't have to bring it back. You don't have to pay a deposit on the box or anything like that. So what you'll have here, these are 5-frame nukes. So you should have 2 to 3 frames of bees on drawn comb, and then you may have a frame that's partially drawn or completely drawn with not a whole lot on it, you know, as far as honey and pollen. And then you'll have another frame that will have good honey and pollen on it, so the bees will have plenty to get a good start. And also I plan on, it's a good rule of thumb to feed your bees sugar water, 1-to-1 sugar syrup, most of the summer, just to make sure they get the greatest start they can. And that's what's nice about these Pro Nuke boxes that I mentioned in my earlier videos, is I like to use the bigger holes in these lids, and it's a really good fit for a Gatorade bottle. And you can just mix your 1-to-1 sugar water ahead of time, put it in a Gatorade bottle. You can come out, you don't have to open the lid, you just pop the bottle off, you put the new one on it, and you're all ready to go. So when you're first starting off with your nuke, you want to have them sugar water all the time, and that'll be the greatest start you can give those. So in preparation, at the very least, what you need to buy is you need to buy a single deep complete hive. So what that consists of is a bottom board, a deep 10 frame Langstroth box. Like I'd mentioned in the earlier videos, it's 9 5/8 inches tall, with a telescoping lid, and then an inner cover. And when you're searching to buy these, some of these will have frames in them already with foundation, and some of them won't. It's just personal preference, which way you prefer. When you're first starting out, it's a little easier just to get them with the frames and foundation in them, but it's a little bit cheaper to get the frames and foundation separately. But like I mentioned earlier, so in the other videos, so when you get your brand new hive, obviously it won't have comb on it, but it'll be a frame that'll fit in a 9 5/8 inch box, and then with a foundation that's more than likely pre-waxed, so the bees will have a good start. Like I said, that's the bare minimum what you need to have ready prior to you getting your bees. Preferably you have a good spot already picked out where you want to have your hive located. Typically you'd want your entrance facing east, and you can have it in a little bit of shade, but preferably little to no shade. That way you can deter some of the pests that do bother bees. But ultimately, that first season for your bees, you're going to need at least, like I mentioned, a bottom board, and then 1 deep. I would go with the 2nd deep, but these can get heavy. It is recommended to check your beehive once a week. That way you can get familiar with the bees, as you're learning, and you can learn to pick up on problems that may be starting to happen before they do, become a real big problem. But if weight is an issue, most people, what they'll have is a brood box, which is a deep, and then they'll have, multiple mediums past that if weight is a concern. But if weight isn't a big concern, and ideally I would still recommend at least 2 deeps, but it just depends on how much weight would be a factor for you when you're working your beehives. But so ultimately that first season you should have 2 brood boxes, whether that be 2 deeps or a deep and a medium, and then a super. And that's basically all you need the first year. You just need to make sure to keep them feed 1-to-1 syrup until they get to a point where you've learned enough, you feel comfortable with what they have. They're bringing in good pollen, they're bringing in good nectar, and you can actually see some nectar stores, which is honey, being gathered. And at that point, you don't want to continue feeding them. You may encourage a swarming. So also, a couple other things you need to get. You need to get a good hive tool, whether it be one of these, which is a J-hook style, and then also you need a good bee suit. Once you start searching, a lot of people will first see these little bee suits. It's really thin, it's got a veil on it, and it comes with a pair of gloves. Typically you see them about $20 or less, maybe give or take a little bit. I would recommend not getting one of those. That's one big concern most people have, is getting stung. You do get stung sometimes, obviously, but what I like to say is the bees will teach you what you're doing wrong as far as like fast movements. They'll really teach you as you watch them doing your weekly inspections of what they do and do not like. But one of those small suits, it's almost a given. You're going to get stung in those. So what I would recommend is getting a better suit. So you can go on Amazon or some of these other bee sites and just type in ventilated bee suit. And usually they're 3 layers. And they are kind of thick, but they're ventilated. So they're not super hot in the summer. And they offer a lot more protection than one of those cheaper ones. The typical price you're going to see in those, to kind of give you an idea whether you're looking at the right thing or not when you are searching. The price range on them will normally start around $40 to $60, and obviously, they can get quite a bit more expensive. But if you get one between the $60, $70 range, you should have one that's plenty good enough to keep you from getting stung all the time. And like I said, as you go on, you'll really learn how to move correctly while you're working the bees, and really eliminate the possibility of getting stung every movement you make. And basically that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Hopefully that helps you out. And like I said, if you are interested in buying one of my nukes, just shoot me a message or something and let me know. Either way, I should have some available around May or June-ish. So the winter time is a great time to learn beekeeping. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on outside, and obviously you're not messing with the bees. So for me, it's a good time of preparation to get your equipment bought and watch as many YouTubes as possible. Maybe find a bee club locally to join, and just read. And I think I mentioned in my other video, one thing it'll be very obvious is for about every topic, there's 1,000 different ways to do that one thing. You'll see a lot of methods that are fairly similar. What I would do is I would just learn as much as you can, but with a grain of salt. And just once you get your bees, once you get your beehive, remember all these other styles and methods that you've learned, and do what works best for you. And you can always feel free to ask me, post on my Facebook group, and I'll be more than willing to help you out as much as I can. So I hope you liked the video. I felt like this one went a little better. So appreciate it if you give it a like or a share, and have a good one.